Hello everyone and welcome to part 3 of building Rose Red. In this part I will focus on building the main hallway and grand staircase. Now I call it the grand staircase because I think it has a really grand feeling. That's at least what I thought the first time when I saw the movie and they entered Rose Red, Joyce Reardon and her team of paranormal investigators. When they enter Rose Red, they obviously first enter this beautiful hallway with the huge grand staircase, and that's where their quest begins. Now, to give the staircase a grander feel, I used platforms because the staircase actually curves. It has a curve shape, and that is something that's not possible in The Sims 4 to achieve. So I decided to use platforms instead and try to give the staircase a more curvy feel in a way, but also a more impressive feel. So what I'm doing to achieve these platforms is I'm first drawing out the shapes with walls, and then I raise the platforms inside that little room, and then I delete the walls after that. Then I put down some floor tiles, wooden floor tiles, because the staircase is wooden, and also some foundation that also has a wooden look. Now I do change the foundation eventually because the ones that I use right now are I didn't really like them, so I changed that. Now I will move on to the top landing of the first floor, and then I delete most of the floor of this epic hallway. It's a very tall hallway, as you can see, and I wanted to achieve that epicness, that grandness, by deleting the wall and have a really high ceiling. What I'm trying to do here is to recreate my own chandelier. So the main hallway has a beautiful, huge crystal chandelier, but we don't have those in game. So I decided to create my own by using these chandeliers from Spa Day. And it actually turned out pretty well. I'm really happy with the result. This is a minor spoiler for the miniseries, but it also plays a minor role in the movie, because at the end of the movie it crashes down, and it's one at least it's one of those scenes that stayed with me and that I thought was really epic. That chandelier crashing down on the floor, all those crystal thingies jumping all over the place. Now here I adjusted the wall height of the first floor because I thought to have that, I thought the taller wall heights or the medium wall height suited better with the gist of the building. Now the first part of the hallway has 4 main archways, which I tried to recreate here, but I didn't really know what to use. Now in the end I will find some archways from Get Famous, and I think they're actually movie props, and they worked quite well. And here I'm trying to figure out what wallpaper to use, and that was quite a journey, to be honest. I just couldn't decide which wallpaper worked best. So here I'm just trying out some different wallpapers, see what works, see what doesn't work, and I think it won't be this one. It'll be a different one in the end eventually. The first part of the hallway will have a stone wallpaper, like a beautiful sandstone wallpaper, and then the back of the back wall will have a halfly painted wallpaper and some wood underneath. Here I'm creating these empty spaces to fill out the room to make it look a little bit more like what it looks like in the movie. And at first I thought, you know what, instead of using archways, I'll just use columns instead. That might work as well. But then I realized that these columns, you cannot make them taller. Even when deleting the floor, you can make them slightly taller, but not just up until the tallest wall height. And then I tried to stack two on top of each other, but it just didn't really look right for me personally. So I'm really happy that I decided to delete these columns and then went for the archways from Get Famous instead, because that does work better. So here I'm just trying to figure out which columns to use, which ones could rise up until the ceiling height. Although I realized later on that it has a small symbol, so you can always know which ones you can extend high up and which ones don't extend high up. But I realized that a little bit later. Now here I'm also searching for archways and to try and recreate the look from the movie with these archways. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and make a floor pattern, because Rose Red has a beautiful floor. It has a beautiful marble floor, or at least it looks marble to me. And although it was impossible to recreate it as it is in the movie, I just wanted to have an interesting floor, an interesting pattern that looks and suits the build well, or at least in my opinion. So that's what I try to do here. Now at first I am using these marble tiles from Dine Out, but I will change them to the marble floors from Get Famous, which in the end works quite well. The color scheme works pretty well. And here I wanted that square to line up better with those niches. So as you can see, I'm trying to figure out the color scheme, what works, what doesn't work, what colors go together pretty well. Because I thought that the brownish color didn't really go with the rest of the color scheme. But in the end, I'll go for different floor tiles anyway. And then I start furnishing a little bit. So there's this table in the middle of the hallway. It actually has the equipment of the researchers on top of the table. And so at the beginning of the movie, when they enter the house and they walk through the hallway, you can see all the equipment lined up against the floor and on the table. And here I was just placing down some lights on the wall because of the shadow glitch that I had. Now the shadow glitch is fixed, so I'm really happy about that, so it doesn't look weird anymore. But at that point I didn't really know what to do. But for some reason I got rid of the ceiling lights and then remade them, and now it looks just fine. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to make bigger candelabras. So I first put down 2 candelabras from the Vampire Game pack, and then I combine multiple ones to, make a bigger candelabra, which suits these type of houses pretty well, in my opinion at least. I also combined two flower arrangements as well to make it a little bit bigger. Oh, here I'm just moving them over a little bit. So what happens is if you put them on a table and then you scoot the table down, I think you do need to turn on move objects, but if you scoot the table down and then you grab the light and you change the position, it will stay at the same height. So that's why I first put down the candelabra on the table to know what exact height it is on, so I don't have to raise it myself. And here I'm just playing around with some columns to make the hallway a little bit more interesting. Now it will look different in the end. You will see soon in the screenshots. And here I am placing down these archways that I mentioned before, the archways from Get Famous. Now I will scale them down a little bit because they're quite big and they're too high as well. So it will be a little bit different in the end. And here I am going to change the floor tiles to something that works better, at least in my opinion. Like I really like this color scheme that I eventually went for, so I'm really happy that I decided to change that. Now we are getting near the end of this video, so I'm going to wrap up my recording. I want to thank you for joining me on this newest part of Building Rose Red. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. You can comment down below with your feedback, and I will see you in the next part. Enjoy the screenshots and have a nice day. Goodbye!